Hello folks, and thanks for tuning in to LPD News. I'm Cameron Dunton, and today's special guest is Dr. Carl Carlson. Dr. Carlson is a world-renowned anthropologist who's here to discuss with us what we like to call the big picture. Thank you for coming in today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, Cameron. I really like what LPD News does over here. I think they're really good at sharing information with the Morehouse College student population, and I think it's a really good thing that you guys got going on over here. I'm very happy to be involved.
So I have a few questions for you today, obviously. I would like to talk to you about the big picture, and a lot of our viewers aren't aware or understand what exactly the big picture is. So for my first question, what would you describe, or what is the current status of the big picture?
All right, Cameron, that's a good question, and I think if I could, I'd like to break it down in a specific way. If you look at the planet Earth and you go back about 150 years, you'll see that in the year 1850, our little planet here only had a population of about 2 billion people. Now, if you fast forward 100 years to the year 1950, you'll see that that population only grew by a number of 1 billion people to 3 billion. Now, in half that time, which is 100 years, you fast forward about 49 years to the year 1999, you'll see that the population of planet Earth actually completely doubled from 3 billion to 6 billion people. Now, the year is 2014, only 15 years from now. If you'd like to see, our population is now at another staggering 1 billion ahead at 7.2 billion. With increased birth rates because of advances in technology, as well as decreased death rates because of advances in public health, advances in medicine, as well as technology, you can see our population is growing exponentially. At this rate, the population of planet Earth will double every 40 years. If you think about that, you can see that, our space capacity for people is about to run out.
It's definitely declining. So, if possible, could you describe to us the current statistics of our population?
Yes, actually, Cameron. I did bring along some statistics with me that I think are pretty pertinent to the situation at hand. We did a study of 141 of the 244 countries on this planet. In that study, we like to see the poverty rates of all the countries that we studied. 28 of those countries had a disparaging number of 50 to 80% of their population living beneath the poverty line. 59 of those countries also had a number of about 25 to 49% of their population also living beneath the poverty line. Of the 54 countries left over in our entire study, 40 of them had a population in which 10 to 24% of them lived beneath the poverty line. Out of all the countries that we studied, like I said, 141, only 14 countries had a population in which only 0 to 10% of their population lived beneath the poverty line. As you can see, these numbers are very, very disparaging, and something should be done to fix them.
So with your level of expertise and experience in the field, how would you address the situation of our population disparity?
Well, Cameron, I think there's a few things we'd have to do to really combat it. One thing I'd like to discuss is actually one of our Morehouse alumni and huge founders of the civil rights movement in our country, Dr. Martin Luther King, had a vision of a world house. With this vision, he thought that the entire population of the planet should come together to focus on the goals as one united front. In doing this, it's obvious that that's not where we're at right now. Our current population does not live under the ideals of a world house, with wars between different populations, whether it be religious sects or races, whether it be whites and blacks, Islamists, Muslim, Palestinians, Israelis. There's a lot of differences between the ideas and how people like to get along on our planet. Dr. King discussed social ills. Of those social ills, two that stuck out to me personally is poverty and war amongst people on planet Earth. As you can see, the numbers don't lie, Cameron. There's no chance that our population will stop growing, and there's obviously no chance that our planet will grow in size. What we need to do is make sure that with the amount of people that get more and more and more on our planet, we work together to accomplish these goals. And like Dr. King said, I think there's a quote, I can't think of it exactly, but what he said was along the lines that, together, if we don't come together, we will die together as fools and perish. Now, that's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this conversation. If we don't get together as a population of planet Earth and fight our evils and fight our problems together, we will certainly perish alone.
Thank you for answering our questions. This is all great information. So I'd just like to say thank you for coming out here, and we really appreciate your time, Dr. Carlson.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to LPD News. I'm Cameron Dunson. Stay classy.